Dudes and Brudettes, it's the PicoDudes. I'm Sam Rathert, and with me, the Pico Dude who brews so smooth. It's Jeremy Hidalgo.
Gosh, I wish I could come up with the good introductions like you do.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about this smooth beer you've brought us today. So, what do we do on the PicoDudes?
We review beers that we brew on our PicoBrew machines.
Yeah.
And they're anywhere from craft brews to recipes that we get from listeners or we make up ourselves. And we also work on coming up with new and interesting ways to experiment with those brews and all kinds of stuff. So
crazy.
We talk about beer and other bullshit.
Talk about beer, try to have fun, get a little too loose sometimes. But yeah, that's what we're here to do today. And today you've brought us a delicious beer, right?
I did. Today I brought the Pike Brewing Monk's Uncle Belgian Tripel Ale. And I'm pretty excited. It came out nice and clear. And alcoholic as something that's really alcoholic. We'll keep it.
As a horse not alcoholic, I have never drank a horse, so I don't know.
No, a horse is not alcoholic.
No, okay.
All right. So
they're full of oats.
It's full of oats. So do you want me to tell you a little bit about what a Belgian Tripel is?
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Am I being a bad host today? Hey, Jeremy, what kind of beer is this?
This is a Belgian Tripel. Wait, why is it harder? Like, we had our podcast kind of down.
Oh, we were
now we throw
it.
a camera up in front of us and we don't know what to say.
Nope. We're just going to stare here, mute, sweating. So, Belgian Tripel. I bet you the BJCP has something to say about a Belgian Tripel.
They do. This is a beer that needs to be pretty complex with moderate to significant spiciness. Do we have that here?
I think we'll get into it, but I'm not sure how much spicy.
Moderate fruity esters and low alcohol. This is not low alcohol.
This is not low alcohol.
No, which is weird because they say that, because then down below they say the vital statistics on it, like
7.5 to 9.5%.
AB.
I don't think it's saying it's low alcohol. I'm saying that you're not supposed to get a lot of that character in the nose and
in the
taste
aroma
of the beer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I really don't, but we'll get into this beer in a few minutes. You did mention some esters.
What are esters?
I think they're from the Golden Girls.
From the Golden Girls?
Isn't Esther? No.
She didn't contribute her yeast to this brew, did
Oh,
she?
Jesus. Hey, fun fact. We're kind of comic book guys, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of that Marissa Tomei in Spider-Man?
She makes a hot Aunt May.
Does she?
Well,
would you like to know something more fun fact?
Yes.
She is actually older than the Golden Girls were when they started the show, The Golden Girls.
She looks way better than any of the Golden Girls ever did in that
Blanche
show.
was 53 and she is 54.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Huh.
She's doing something right. I want in on that diet.
Somebody's heavy-handed with the CG, maybe.
What? Jesus. That's horrible.
I don't know.
All right, let's talk more about beers then. So we got a beer here from Pike Brewing.
Pike Brewing.
Pike Brewing, who from Seattle. So I'm sorry for all of our national and international listeners. We somehow end up really Northwest focused on a lot of the beers.
I think a lot of the beers are Northwest because that's where PicoBrew is located.
True.
So as
they were the
developed
first ones to get
PicoPaks,
packs.
these were some of the first ones that came out. They're the more commonly used ones by the PicoBrew listeners.
And the PicoBrew people who were brewers first and PicoBrew employees second were tied into that scene and those people already, so probably got them on much faster.
But we've had some from Berlin. We've had some from
New York?
Tractor Brewing. We've had some from New
Tractor
Mexico.
Brewing was down in Albuquerque-ish.
So cool. Anyways.
So Pike Brewing is like one of the iconic Seattle brewing companies, and you might think a Red Hook, you might think an Elysian or something.
Pyramid.
Pike is one of the first 3 microbreweries in Washington.
Yeah.
They actually started back in the 80s, and you had Charles and Rose Ann Finkel.
Finkel and Einhorn. Too bad it's not. That's an Ace Ventura reference, by the way. Oh, boy.
I know. I have not watched enough of that, or I have.
Finkel and Einhorn. Einhorn and Finkel.
So Charles and Roseanne Finkel, who really brought Belgian brewing to the Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And back in '89, they started Pike's Place Brewing.
Cool.
Named because of its location.
Near the Pike's Place Market.
Yeah, where it sort of still is. It was downhill then,
Yeah.
down by the market, down below the market. Since then, several years after they started, and they traveled all over the world, but they fell in love with the beers of Europe. And they said, hey, it's the 80s. And you know what beers were really big in the United States in the 80s?
Belgian Triples.
If only.
Hefeweizens.
No, the
Bud Light.
Bud. I don't even
Bud.
think Bud Light existed yet.
Oh, Bud.
It was Budweiser. It was Coors. It was Rainier if you're up here in Seattle.
Oh, yes.
Those are the beers of the 80s here.
Ronier, if you're fancy,
Ronier.
and put your pinky out.
The lagers, etc. And they said, man, this beer from Europe. They loved the, of course, Belgian and German beers. They loved English ales and beers and stouts. And there's so much more character, so much more flavor. They brought a lot of that back. They actually had an importing company that was bringing a lot of that back to the Northwest, of just bringing imports in and sharing them around to our brewing community. And then they started making it themselves. And they really grew into a fantastic, iconic brewery for us in the Northwest. They also, if you get a chance to visit them, they also have one of the coolest microbrewery museums.
Yeah.
So they've got the pub, they've got Tankard and Ton, which is our restaurant, and they have a microbrewery museum, which really is a great collection of even dozens of breweries that don't even exist around here anymore. But they have so much history there. They've been featured in lots of books and magazines about brewing. These guys have been making great beer since '89. It was really when they got started, and really focused on bringing this style to us. So I've got to say thank you. And I've already tried this, and I can say thank you for that too.
They've got like some other good ones, like the Kilt Lifters are really good one. And if you do get a chance to come to Seattle, go visit it.
It's on First, right there next to Pike Street, and right across from the Pike's Place Market. So you're gonna hit the market if you're visiting Seattle, I hope.
Yeah, they've got good food in the brew pub. They've got great beer. They've got a excellent atmosphere. So if you're in town, hit us up. We'll take you over there for lunch or something.
Ooh, there you go.
That might just have gotten expensive.
You just signed us up for something fun.
If you are a Patreon, so if you go to the Patreon page and sign up to support,
so give us $1 and we'll spend a lot of money on you. Is that how it works?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you don't have to limit yourself at $1, but if you want to give us $1, then that'd be great.
Hey, it's just fun to meet listeners. I've actually had a couple stories recently of people who are like, hey, I was at this event and I was talking about you guys, and someone goes, oh, I listened to that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool stories to hear. So we always love to hear from meet listeners, have them tell us how amateurish and
oh God, we're horrible. Hopefully we get
immature
better eventually,
we are.
but we're making steps.
We don't think we're great. We know we're not good at this, but we're having fun, and some people actually have fun listening. So let's talk more about beer for those people.
Cool. Well, let's talk more about this one. So you butted in with the Pike, which is cool because that's what we're talking about.
Oh, good.
The actual style, that was awesome.
Yeah.
The style on this is supposed to be deep yellow to golden color. I think we got it. Good clarity.
Yep.
Yes, great. So the flavor is marriage of spicy, fruity alcohol flavors supported by a soft malt character. These are all of the things that we're supposed to be getting out of this.
Yep.
Mouthfeel, medium, light, medium body.
There's a lot of mediums and lights in
Hey,
there.
I'm just reading what the BJCP
I
says.
see that.
Yeah, everybody sees that.
Well, if you're watching us on YouTube, which is a good plug for the tubes right there, because not only can you see us, you can see the beer we're drinking in these nice clear glasses we're using, so you can see how it comes out. You can see the taproom.club that we are pouring this out of.
Yes.
And we'll probably be pouring more out of it so you can see how it pours. But as you can see, it poured really nice.
Yeah.
And you can even see, and I don't know if they can quite see these lines. These lines have beer in them. Yeah, they look clear. Those are clear lines with this beer in them. It comes out really clear.
Yeah, just one of them has the beer in it. The other one's got gas.
Yeah, one beer.
Yeah, but one.
This beer is so clear.
It's like water.
It's almost like air.
You can also probably see the shine from the lights on my forehead.
No, my entire head. I'm sorry. We'll work on that. We've got this background behind us. I don't know what you're going to put on that.
I don't know either. We'll see what happens this time. It may or may not work. We'll get it
I vote
figured out
David Hasselhoff's crotch.
Yeah, or
Coming
that
out
scene
of
from
David
Borat where he's like
No,
on the beach in
no.
his giant banana hammock sling.
No, too far.
Oh,
You've gone too
wait,
far.
how is that too far?
From David Hasselhoff's crotch is classy.
Okay, you're right.
It's one step below Burt Reynolds, but it's still pretty classy.
It's also several levels less hairy.
Wow. Hey, about this beer. Pike has their own
So beer.
notes about this beer.
What are they?
So, full-bodied nose of fruity and exotic esters, who we mentioned. She's lovely. Dry, light, and extra crisp. And I think we just needed, this has been poured for a while. In fact, this has been out of the refrigerator for a while. I think that cold might give it even more crispness. Golden colored, ding. Hints of honey and spice, ding.
Yes.
Organic malt, local hops. Local hops, okay. I love that all of these Northwest breweries are touting local hops. Something, again, for our national and international listeners. 75% of the hops used in all brewing across the United States of America come from the Yakima Valley just down the road. I mean, and by down the road, it's about 2 hours away from us. That's 75% of the hops used in the country, in the brewing in the country, come from Washington State. So local hops, I'm using my quotation marks because almost every beer in Washington's local hops.
Sure.
Belgian ale yeast, which we're going to get. We're going to get, I think, some of those characters of Belgian ale yeast, which is some of that banana and a little bit of that maybe coriander type.
Yeah.
Flavor and nugget and saz on the hops. Nugget being, just a base hop. A lot of the hops we love are derived from nugget, including, I believe, Mosaic, one of my favorites now.
Nugget.
I
just like saying that word.
I don't like Nugget because of the Denver Nuggets and how they beat the Sonics. I don't know, 20-something years ago. It was like 25 years ago. And I'm still upset about it, by the way. We went out, the first time a first seed's ever lost to an 8 seed. Yeah, don't bring NBA back to Seattle. I still have that shame on me.
We're going to get some NHL, though.
We have NHL. I think that vote went through, and it was announced yesterday. So,
yep, totally.
Do you know what we're going to be called? It's not the Gooey Ducks, is it?
No.
I so thought we should be the Brewers.
I want to see
Milwaukee's got that.
I want to see that logo, though. Seattle Gooey Ducks.
Seattle Gooey Ducks. And watch everyone else around the country try and pronounce Geoducks. All right, let's look at some beer. Man, this train gets off the track quick, but we're conducting.
Again, fun, folks. This is what we're
going
all
to keep
about.
it on. We have not had enough of this. What kind of alcohol do you think we're drinking here, Jeremy?
All right. So this
Honest engine time.
Yeah, this one's supposed to be, 9% alcohol by volume? I think this one's a little bit higher, and this is why. So
you think?
So I brewed this at home on my PicoBrew, and what happened was it looked like, I was just looking at the brew logs, and it looked like I actually adjusted the ABV up, which on this PicoPak only allows you to do one
or two clicks?
One bar.
Okay.
And so it looks like I did that.
And then it's just skulls. It goes from bars to skulls?
Yeah, and then it's like your whole screen turns red and says warning. So anyways, what happened during the brew process is apparently I adjusted the alcohol. So that was the highest level available. And then the second thing that happened was that I went outside and mowed the lawn and then came back in right as the brew was sort of finishing up. And I noticed that while the machine didn't throw any error codes and it didn't stop, it actually did have a lot of water sitting in the step filter. So at some point, the PicoPak had spilled a bunch of grains into the step filter, which then clogged everything up. And so there were a lot of the...
Yeah, go on.
There were a lot of
people watching are getting a treat right now, by the way. Sorry to you listeners, you're missing out.
So all of the grains clogged it, and the wort that was in the step filter, which was a majority of it, sat in there and continued to extract, I think, even more sugars from the grain during the process. It was able to maintain temperature, which is why we didn't get any errors. And again, I think it was right at the end. PicoBrew was awesome. I reported it to them. They sent me a new PicoPak right away. And because I knew that one had kind of blown out, and that we do reviews and wanted to be responsible to the style. What the fuck are you doing?
We're still trying to get this studio set up, folks, and my microphone fell off in mid
And mid.
So I'm trying to work repairs like super stealthy here. Like you didn't notice any of this, right?
Yeah. So anyways, so that happened. I've already brewed the second batch, which is finishing up its fermentation. Will be carbonated here soon, and this is part 1 of this review. We'll get another bottle of the Pike's Monk's Uncle, and we'll compare the actual recipe. Because I had done that, I also grabbed the packet of carbonating sugar that came with the PicoPak, and then I opened that and just tossed it in.
I'm sorry, you did what?
I tossed in the whole packet.
All the carbonating sugar?
Of the carbonating sugar, which may or may not add a whole lot, but it's kind of akin to when you brew Belgian beers. Oftentimes you take the hard candy and you will add that into the boil as a way to sort of impart some more of the sweetness and get more alcohol out of it. And so tighten that sucker down. So that's kind of what I did on this one.
Brittany's back, bitch.
So that's what I did on this one, and because of that, the alcohol flavor, the ABV in this one is definitely a little bit more prominent when you drink it. I think
just a tiny bit.
I didn't take a final gravity reading, which I should have done. 8, but it's definitely hotter on the alcohol than I think typical. And we'll find out. We're gonna compare it to the regular stuff here in a minute. I told you, tighten it down.
I'm doing stuff. I'm doing it. And doing it well.
Thank you.
All right. So, do we want to talk about our first impressions on this beer?
Yeah. Let's walk through sort of the different ones.
I can say it smells like bananas.
It smells like bananas. What did you say?
Bananas.
So this shit is bananas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's got a definite banana smell, more so than a lot of Belgian ales I've had. I don't know if it's the sugars that you added that bring out that extra banana-y flavor and smell. Not in a bad way, but if you don't like banana, this is not your beer.
Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head, I think, earlier when you said it tastes or it smells and tastes like a banana smoothie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have...
I've changed my mind.
Oh, well, I don't know if... Let me go. Let me finish this and you say what you've changed your mind to.
But not far off.
I don't know if you've gone to the grocery store and you can pick up the
banana
smoothie packets and then you add a banana, like a quarter cup of milk and 8 ice cubes. My daughters love that. We do that at home. And this has that same aroma and that same initial flavor.
Yeah. I was going to say, I once had, and I believe it was Captain Morgan's banana-flavored rum. This hits me like banana-flavored rum. Remember I originally told you when I took my first sip, I was like, that's like a rum and Coke.
Yeah.
Because it's got that alcohol. Not nearly as alcoholic, of course, but it's like a mixed drink. It's got almost the alcohol of a mixed drink. Like my bartender gave this to me, and I'm not going to accuse him of shorting me on the liquor. And I got that banana hit me a second later, and I went, okay, it's not rum and Coke, it's banana rum.
Yeah.
And vanilla Coke. But it is banana smoothie. I mean, that's what I ended up on when I finished my initial tasting of it. It's not in a bad way. You don't... Jeez. You're gonna pour that out on the computer. Was that one for our homies?
That was
for my dead microphone. That is slowly, ever so slowly creeping away from me.
That one's for my homies.
Yes, it's like I never mind.
I'm sorry I ruined your wonderful tablecloth.
So we're getting every episode. We're gonna change one thing, see if people can spot it. Right?
Nope, not true. That would be fun, but that would take
more
way
planning too long
than we've got into this. We will. So this coming, you guys don't know what day it is. Depends on when I release this, but
by the time they hear this, we will be together.
We will be working on it.
Yes,
we're going to be turning this into hopefully a legit YouTube/podcasting studio.
Heck yeah.
That's like some serious stuff. That's why we need some patrons and some Patreons, because it's patrons. Patreon is a website.
Yes.
This beer is really good. It's hitting me kind of hard.
And this is not our first pour, and it has got to be a 10% plus beer. So it's going to make the second half of this episode excellent. Excellent.
Yes.
I need a cat.
So we've established it's like a banana smoothie with a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, like you added rum to a banana smoothie.
Yeah. It does have the I cannot talk all of a sudden. It does have some spiciness to it. I think it's kind of like the coriander, a little bit of a
white pepper or a
little bit of a peppery flavor. Kind of it. So this says sometimes clove-like phenols. I don't know if I get that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Maybe slightly, kind of like allspice. I don't know if you've had some allspice, but it's got a little bit of a clove hint to it, and then it's got the. No, that's Old Spice.
Okay. I got that way off.
Old Spice.
That's not allspice?
No, do not put allspice in your armpits and expect it to stop perspiration or make you smell
drink
better.
Old Spice.
You'd like turn your armpit into dreadlocks, I would think, with that or something. I don't know.
Hey, Mom.
And now you can tell this beer is kicking in. But this is awesome. And so for the style, it nails it.
I think it kind of nails it. I think it's
for the style. I don't know. I haven't tried the actual one.
Sweet. Well, it's
again,
so sweet and
somebody
sugary.
added a bunch of sugar.
Yes. Like I love cake, but I don't like frosting.
This probably could have benefited from a little bit longer
frosting
on the fermentation.
Think so?
I think so.
That way it could be more alcoholic.
It would be more alcoholic, but the thing is because
Eat up some of those sugars.
I added more sugar to the actual brew process.
I think it's fermenting as I watch.
Yeah, the Pico firm that I used to track the temperature and the carbonation levels and the pressure and everything on the fermentation didn't take into account that I added more sugar. So
I dare it.
Yeah.
Don't you just set that setting adding more sugar?
No, but that would be nice.
Dangerous.
A little bit. It'd be nice to like go in and be able to sort of add a little bit of customization to the Pico.
That might come, keeping in mind that the units we have, and we're going to do hopefully reviews on those soon too, they are intended for the basic brewer. It's supposed to make this easy. There are PicoBrew machines that give you more customization options. They also cost a bit more.
Zymatic.
Yum. Z. And these are perfect for me, because I didn't know what any of this stuff was when I started.
I like my Pico C. I want just a little bit more flexibility in
Your Pico C is like your car.
Yeah. Or sorry, my Pico.
Your Pico S. I have a C.
Yeah, I have an S, but
you have an S Pro.
It's pretty much the same thing. Mine's stainless steel, and I get ball lock kegs. There's not much difference.
You love those ball locks.
Sandra.
Have you ever?
Is she at the age of Golden Girls yet? Anyways.
So have you ever driven a car and been like, I love this car, but I wish I just had a little bit more?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
That's our PicoBrews.
Yes.
So, all right. So do we want to pour some out of the bottle so we can compare?
Yeah.
So, we did it. Shame on us last episode. And I'm not even sure if we actually are going to air last episode, because not only were we toasted from our, what did we try first? Dragon's Tooth Stout. Mm-hmm. So not only were we toasted from the old Dragon's Tooth Stout, but, here, I'll slide that over, make it easy.
I'll pour yours.
Would you do it
better.
over the computer? And not only did we do that, but then after finishing a bunch of what we'd brewed, plus a big 22-ounce bottle, we decided to do Dead Guy Ale. Now, originally, we were going to do a comparison. Same kind of thing we're doing here. We were going to do a comparison. However, I drank all my store-bought Dead Guy Ale, and when you went to the store to find us some, they were out.
They were out.
So instead, we just drank it because we were having so much fun. Talked about the Dead Guy Ale. We did do it with a different yeast. It was different than the first Dead Guy Ale that we reviewed way back in our earliest episodes.
Yep.
And we'll see if we get back to that. But this is in our series of let's see what PicoBrew does against the commercial version, and we may have to redo this one because you have the punked PicoBrew version.
No, we're gonna do part 2. So we'll just do this all over again.
Dos Equis?
Yeah. Well, yes. Not 2 X's.
Minus the X's?
Yeah. We'll do a second
Tres
version.
X's? This is good beer.
This is good beer.
Okay, but we got to talk about something right off the bat, don't we?
Yeah. Theirs is definitely more clear.
Look at this color. Yeah, look at this clarity.
But the color...
The color's not that far off. The clarity is what's changing it, because it's probably the same SRM, but this one I can see through, and this one is cloudy. And I don't know if there was any cold crash involved.
There was a lot of cold crash involved. Here's the one thing that might have affected it.
They didn't add extra sugar to theirs.
Well, there's probably, there's that. And then there's also my drive out here. So I had to drive.
And you were driving.
And I was driving, which...
that's not going to help.
Like we said.
Woo!
What's that? What's that about?
Woo! That's different.
That's different.
I just smelled the commercial version. It's different. Don't try it yet. Just smell it.
Oh.
I get like dirty dishware.
Yeah.
Do you get dirty dishware out of that? I should have washed these glasses.
Funky butt loving.
I know. Isn't that odd?
There's more hop. There's more of the hop that comes through.
Same thing we had with the Dragon's Tooth Stout. But is this going to be Angry Pike Monk's uncle?
It smells like cat food.
This is going to be the Pike Angry Monk's uncle, isn't it?
Yeah. This is are you going to lose it again?
No. I'm good. I'll be right back.
I get a little bit of an initial aroma of cat food. And then there's a very... Maybe it's that nugget hop. I don't know. It's... followed up by almost a coppery aroma, like a metallic, and then really carbonation. We should learn how to be better at describing this stuff eventually, right? If we're gonna have a podcast where we talk about beers.
That sounds like a good idea.
You're a funny guy.
I bent it, Jeremy. I've bent it. It's broken. She's busted, man.
Okay, it tastes different too.
What? Oh, this is... I might have to go, like, stand up.
Yes. Lower.
Lower.
There's going to be some heavy editing involved in publishing this podcast.
No.
Put it down by the bottom where your butt sits on the thing. Put it down by the bottom. Yes, right there above that, and then tighten it down, and then it shouldn't be able to cant. I will have to cut this part out of both the video and the
You are not cutting anything out.
So if you're new to this, we have
drinking game.
Sort of a drinking game where if
you're gonna get drunk.
And if you're driving and listening to this, you need to keep
drinking
score.
Game. Oh,
you need to keep score and then drink later. So there's a lot of times where we say we're gonna cut something out.
Thick down there.
And then I don't. And I don't for a number of reasons. And chief among them is that I don't always have time to listen through the entire podcast again or for a second time prior to posting it. One of the things I hope to be better at here in the near future.
This isn't going to work either. I can't tighten it when it's at the bottom.
Oh.
But what if I go barely up from the bottom?
Yes. Enough for you to tighten it.
All right, I'm with you.
Okay. So should I describe this one now?
Yeah, I think you should.
All right. Well, I kind of did the aroma. I kind of did the first taste. First taste is not dirty dishwasher or water.
No.
So that initial banana flavor is kind of there, but it's not as prominent. It's not so overpowering banana flavor.
It's different.
It's a lot different. Take a second sip because a second.
Yeah, I got to clear all this sweetness out of my mouth because something.
Do I need to stop this and re-record the whole episode?
I think it sounds great.
Awesome.
I don't think anyone listening right now is like, Well, this is awkward.
All right, so this is a little bit maltier. It's got sort of that like slick malty taste, like
Lick ballsy taste.
malty.
They said
Not ballsy.
lick ballsy taste. And it does sort of have a lick ballsy taste to it. Not that I would know.
I'm not sure that's how I would describe it. It is different.
It's sticking on my tongue with almost like it's poison.
So first of
Something's
all,
not right.
it's not as sweet. It's not as crisp. So that's it should be colder too.
Mm-hmm. Do you have something happen on the sides of your tongue right now?
Yeah, and that's so.
And I
so-
think this might have thrown off our flavor profile because it was so sweet my first sip, and then after a few, it got kind of like, ooh, I like it. That to the point where now this is hitting the side of my tongue with the most
like a
sour.
well, I'm getting a little bit of that coriander, like a heavy coriander, and a little bit of peppercorn. And there's definitely an alcohol flavor, but then the bittering hops come in. And the bittering
I'm getting
hops,
bitter, so bitter.
The bittering hops seem to just linger, like right in the back and on the side of your
On the
taste
side of your
buds.
tongue
Yeah.
after you swallow, and I'm like, oh, that's a horrible. And I think we may have been thrown off by this rapid beast right here.
So neither one of these are. I think these are both. I mean, they're both good examples of a triple, but they're very different.
They are.
Which is why we are going to do a part 2 with the PicoPak brewed correctly and with less variation. Are you okay? You're just staring at stuff.
I'm like,
Are you trying to describe what's happening in your mouth?
I'm more confused than a blind lesbian in a fish market right now. This is so odd. It's some sort of flavor that I can't. You found words for it, and I can't. It's
Okay.
not good.
No, so I just went back
To your first one.
to my first one.
Now it's sweet, isn't it?
It is so sweet.
It's so sweet.
So it is very sweet, and the banana flavor is like,
It's like someone just shoved an unpeeled
Oh my-
creamy banana in your mouth.
yeah, it's very overpowering.
Yes.
And the alcohol to it kind of isn't as prominent as I thought it was before. There's also maybe it's hard to describe what's going on. These are wildly different. I think each on their
It
own,
feels like everything's going wrong.
each on their own, they're fine. But when compared side by side, they're not remotely close.
Well, they're we're not remotely close. Compared, I think either one alone, we would have been like, oh, that's good. Compared side by side, I'm like, I don't like either one. I don't know what to say, man. I was almost about to do that. What Jeremy just did was he combined them, and he's hoping for them to create a beautiful mashup. He is hoping for a Rihanna type mashup and not a.
It's pretty good. I mean,
We tried it with Dead Guy Ale. I mean, it did the trick. Or no, we tried it with Angry Dragon's Tooth Stout.
yeah. Let me do another taste. It clarified my beer a little bit more.
Did we get a bad? My entire mouth just says, like, there's spikes in it.
It kind of goes like, this is the same, but no. Like, no, this is different.
No, it's not the same at all.
Well, there's like a very split second where you get some of the characteristics of the yeast that come through, where there's a little hint, and I just mean a very slight hint of that banana flavor come through. and then it goes away very quickly. I'd say it's a less So it's a little bit cleaner, but it's a less complex beer. When you're and now I've contaminated my sample.
Cleaner? You think it's cleaner?
Well,
It tastes so dirty to me. This is the Dirty Randy of beer. Why are you giving it to me? Here, we'll let the fine listeners who are watching this
I've
show
had
enjoy
okay.
this.
So the weird thing is I've had the Monk's Uncle, and as a
And
Belgian,
it was good.
yeah, as a Belgian triple, like I'll drink a whole bottle. But if I'm going back and forth, first of all, I preferred my homebrewed version. But now, and I like the mixed version because I think they kind of do a good job of complementing each other.
This has a definite lighter mouthfeel to it. The commercial version
there's
has a lighter mouthfeel.
There's this weird dirty, like I think there's more of a hop presence in the flavor, but it's not a very clear. It's not a fruity. It's not overpowering. It's more of a bittering hops that throws off the rest of the balance when you compare the two together.
I think the commercial version is really good. I feel my mouth right now is messed up, and it's not. I think I talked about those pills from the 3 Pigs that I did that changed the flavor of something just by taking this pill. Completely changes the flavor of something.
Okay, so
something like that happened here.
So
now that you're smoothing it out, your mouth
Yeah.
is appreciating it more, right?
Yeah, so here's what I get. So I get, and this is a little weird, but I get an initial like flavor of what I think cat food tastes like the canned cat food. Just really quick, like there's almost like that, like I don't know what it tastes like. I've never tasted it, but like the way it smells.
Well, me and ball licky.
I'm gonna go with the cat food because that's.
I just want to see that on the label of a beer. So it hits you with an initial quick taste of cat food.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say ball licking. If you want to taste balls, try our beer. No.
Hey, curious what your balls taste like? Not flexible enough? Try Kilt Lifter.
So
taste your balls.
Taste your balls. Belgian Triple
by Menon.
Yum. So anyways,
this is all alcoholic. This thing is only 9%. God knows what this store
this
show
does taste
is.
more alcoholic for sure.
Man.
If my tongue can detect.
Like I said, this is like a rum. Like a flattish rum and vanilla Coke and banana rum mixed drink.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll drink it.
So okay, initial taste of the cat food, and then it
oh yeah, let's go back to what happens after cat food. It shits in your mouth.
No, I get the clove flavor. So what they describe is there. There's more of a hop presence. I get the bitter. The bitter is very
bitter.
The bitter is, I think, what's throwing me off because that just hangs around in my mouth, in the back of my mouth. The bitter is there. It's a very it's not a pleasant like a coffee bitter or anything like that. It's like a bitter like somebody crushed up a plant or a hop and put it in your drink, and it's just not.
And it's all the worst of the bitter.
Like when you have something that has lemon in it, and you're like, oh, I like lemon, but then you bite into the lemon seed that they forgot to strain out, and that just like that bitter just.
This is like absent father emo goth bitter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that bitter.
Like
this is
black painted fingernails.
Buys all its clothes at Hot Topic bitter.
Mm-hmm.
It is so bitter.
We should almost
we have daughters.
We should almost come back and just do a review on this one.
When our mouths have recovered.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't drink either of these beers ever again. That's just, and I love a Belgian. And right now
But that's not how we started out. When we started out, we drank multiple glasses of this before we started.
And it was so good until I put this other thing in my mouth. And now it's made both of them taste bad. I actually enjoyed yours. And then it's like you have to prep your mouth for it. I don't know.
Holy shit.
See?
So, okay. Alcohol.
He's not your friend. Alcohol, I love you.
Oh my gosh. So there's so much alcohol in the homebrewed version. Even though I mix these two,
I compare it to rum, keep in mind.
like I feel like if I burp and light a match in front of my mouth,
I felt that after one swig.
it's just going to be like a fiery show of stuff. Also known as the alcohol breath that I'm going to be blowing.
Angry Dragon's Tooth Stout.
All right. So this is a little unfair, but we should probably give this a rating.
Ooh, do we have to?
Stay tuned for part 2 when we actually rate these beers.
I think that's the only fair way to do this.
Yeah, and how do we
You have a second batch.
I do have a second batch.
That didn't get all jacked up. It doesn't have extra sugar in it.
It has completed its fermentation and will be racked by Saturday.
That's your beer.
Dude, even your burp sounds like it could power a jet. I mean, smells. Your burp smells like it could power a jet.
That's good stuff right there. I'm so sorry. We have really had just a mess of an initial or 1 or 2 studio shows. Maybe we should go back to just sitting in the car and recording these. There you Who would use their face to move their microphone around?
I don't know. The person sitting opposite of someone holding their microphone on their knee like it's still attached to something.
And they don't know. They can't see down there. They might think this thing is still secure and fixed to a solid object.
Yeah, right. It's secure and fixed to a solid object. It moves with me, but...
Psst, it's my penis. Damn it. We got to stop this because the alcohol's getting to me.
On that note,
PicoDudes out.